Hello everybody, my name is C-Royd and I make Third Strike videos. This is video number 3. Talk about supers and like how supers are important to Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. I'll try to compare to other games, but my main game is Third Strike, so I don't have too much information about games like Street Fighter 4 or CVS 2 or or Marvel 3, stuff like that. So you can ignore the video. The video is just me just fucking around with random supers, just in training mode. I get bored, so I just turn on training mode for about an hour a day sometimes. So what I wanted to talk about was supers. Yeah, okay. So we're going to move on. And the first thing I wanted to bring up is the tier system in Third Strike. And what I've noticed is that the tier system in Third Strike is completely based on supers in general. It's not really... the characters are important as well, but it's the supers that really put the characters up in those tiers. So let's assume that the top 6 tiers, last I checked, it was something like Yun, Chen, Kun... did I say Chen Kun? Yeah, sorry. Yun, Chun, Ken, and then Dudley, Urian, Makoto, or something like that. I'm not sure the order specifically, but that should be accurate, if anything. The reason why those tiers are set like that is because of the supers and not really the characters. If you take away the supers, the characters are still alright. I mean, if you were to actually make this a superless game and, take away all the supers, and you were to rank, the new tier system, Dudley and Yang would probably be up there as the top tiers, and not even Yun, not even Chun. Ken would be up there probably. It's mainly because I don't know, I just keep saying that the supers make all of the tiers, and it's true to Third Strike in my opinion. If you disagree, leave a comment. But let's look at a game like Street Fighter 4. Now, I do know a bit about Street Fighter 4, not too much about it, but I'm pretty sure Akuma's up there at the top in terms of tiers. If not the very top, he's definitely up there. And in Street Fighter 4, with Akuma, his super is a Raging Demon, which I love. I love Raging Demon. His Ultra is also a Raging Demon. And if you don't actually use the supers with Akuma, it doesn't really make you a shitty player. You could win games in Street Fighter 4 without supers. You can use EXs, you can use focuses, and comboing an actual super is something that you're not going to see too much because of focus attacks, or just because the frame traps, or just the normal moves that all the characters possess in the 4 series, they're just taken in higher consideration compared to things like ultras and supers. In Third Strike, I really doubt characters like Yun would be good without a super like Genei Jin. Chun Li would be a piece of shit without that second super, the kick super, which is amazingly cheap. When a game comes out, I always just kind of play around with it. Like, if I can download it or if I can buy the game, I'll go to training mode right away. I don't care about single player. I'll play around with all the characters that I think are cool. And one thing I've always wondered about Third Strike is when the game first came out, how long did it take for people to actually conclude or determine which supers were good, and how long did it take for people to just dismiss certain supers? Now, I understand that certain supers were probably dismissed really quickly, and then they just kind of brought the supers back after maybe some sort of huge breakthrough discovery that was made. Like Genei Jin combos, for example. People probably thought that was a piece of shit. The reason why I'm thinking about this is because I remember a very specific conversation I had with AneurysmX, and if he actually got this information from somewhere else, I'm not sure where the source was. So my source was AneurysmX, Antoine from here in Toronto, probably the best Dudley in North America. Aside from Vic Vance, I don't know if you guys know Vic Vance. He is the #1 Dudley in North America. Maybe you've heard of him, but he's retired, so I'll just kind of give that title to AneurysmX. I love that guy. But what he told me is that when you're thinking about supers, you don't just think about damage. I mean, let's cover the most important questions whenever a new game comes out. You want to decide which supers are good. You always have to look at how much meter that super costs, how many meters you get, how much damage it does. Is that super a ground-to-ground super? Is it a anti-air super? Is it a grab super? How fast does it come out? Does it have any invincibility? Can it go through fireball? Stuff like that. That's all stuff that you're going to practice eventually on your own. But one thing I actually never considered in terms of the super arts in Third Strike is kind of if I'm on the fence about certain supers when a game first comes out, or even let's say an assist when a game first comes out, like in Marvel. I'm not sure how much this applies to Marvel because I'm not a very good Marvel player, but in Third Strike, what AneurysmX taught me is that if you're going to decide what super to use and you're kind of on the fence, think about whether the super that you want to choose gives you an extra move that you just didn't have before. Does it add an extra weapon to your arsenal in terms of attacks or defense? It's a really amazing concept. I didn't really understand it at first until I just kind of spoke to him a little bit more, and then I totally got what he was saying. It was fucking brilliant. Can't believe I never thought about that before. If you take a look at like Yun's Genei Jin super, it gives him something that he just never had. If you just pick Super 2, it's a good beatdown super. If anything, it's a decent super in general. It can combo really well into it with like a parry into a low forward or a command grab into the super or an overhead into the super. But it's just amazing that the Genei Jin gives you a huge, constant, unstoppable combo once you get it started. And you can finish it with a juggle that actually gets you half your meter back or more, depending on how you finish it. And it's just amazing. So that super is obviously the best one just because of the speed that it gives Yun, you know, in terms of how fast the moves come out. And it makes the command grab even more dangerous, and also countering Genei Jin when you're being pressured in the corner is just ridiculous. So I want to take the rest of the time in this video here, just talk about the supers. And again, if you want to watch the video, then go right ahead. But there's nothing special in the video at all, except maybe I just do that Makoto corner roll trick with Super R2. I learned that from Arliath in SoCal, Tom, so shout out to him. It's my cousin. Yeah, so let's go through like some of the cast in Third Strike and talk about their supers and why certain supers are so good. Why is it that with Ken you only see the third super art, and people just kind of dismiss the second super, they dismiss the first super, and you just throw them away, and we gotta wonder why. Well, let's take a look at the first super with Ken. It does really good damage. You can't really use it as an anti-air, though. The meters are too long, if anything, and you do get 2 of them. It's just that it's hard to land. The range on the super isn't very good. You can do a short into it, you can do a strong fierce into it. That's really it. With the third super, you can at least do a crouching strong link into the super or stand strong into the super for a hit confirm, and that's pretty fucking awesome. You can't really do that overhead setup from like my first overhead video with any of the first 2 supers. You can only do that with the third one, right? So it's easy to explain why that one's the best super, but sometimes you're on the fence between 2 supers with certain characters, and I'm not trying to say that every character only has one good super. Like Ryu has, in my opinion, 2 good supers. I think Shin Sho is really a useless super. And let's go back to what AneurysmX taught me. What he taught me was that if a super gives you an extra move to your arsenal, then you really should consider using it. So with Shin Sho, it just gives me like a beefed up version of the Shoryuken. Now, I don't really need the Shoryu that badly to do that much damage because I'm not going to be landing that many Shoryus to begin with. If some guy jumps in, I'm not just going to do the Shin Sho because it's probably going to get parried really easily. The Shinku Hadouken is a super that I use a lot. Not as much as Denjin, but the Shinku's awesome. It's just a beefed up version of the Fireball, though. I mean, low forward into EX Fireball is really good damage. And that's one thing that the Shinku gives you. Lots of meter to do EX Fireballs, lots of meter to do EX moves, right? Short jab short in the Shinku is really good. But then the Denjin Hadouken, which is obviously my favorite super. If you're to watch any of my matches, chances are I'm using a Denjin Ryu in a team tournament because I mainly team with Adam B and AneurysmX. My main characters are Ken, Dudley, and Ryu. Adam B's main character is Ken. AneurysmX's character is Dudley. I'm stuck with Ryu at this point here. So I'm always using Denjin just because of that wildcard factor. It gives me that unblockable fireball. I can charge it. I can cancel uppercut into it. I can just do block stun setups into it or fireball setups into it just to give that scare factor. And it's also a comeback wildcard. I can be down to 1 pixel. You could be at full health. And I could even have full confidence once I get one knockdown. Other characters really good, like Urien with that third super. Obviously, that's his best super because of the unblockable setups, the corner traps with like the overheads, the high-low game. And Tyrant Slaughter's, that's a decent super, but if you wanted to actually use Tyrant Slaughter with like jab Tyrant Slaughter or overhead into Tyrant Slaughter, you might as well switch to Ken if anything. So Tyrant Slaughter, Urien's not really a good choice of a character to use, so Reflector has to be it. What other characters are there? There's Makoto. You're probably on the fence between Super 1 or 2. Personally, I would actually use the second super just because I can do that 100% stun combo pretty consistently for me personally. So if you can do that stun combo really consistently, by all means, I think you should really consider using that super at all times. The first super with Makoto is really good, does great damage, a lot of setups and links into that super, good hit confirms into it. So... And Makoto's one of those characters where it has multiple good supers. for Makoto users out there, try not to be one of those people that always just uses one super. You kind of have to switch around back and forth. If you're only good with the first super, learn to use that second one. Learn the combos, learn the setups, learn the mix-ups even. There's really good reset mix-ups that you can do after the second super that usually start off with a super into like a jump short, into an EX uppercut or something like that. So please give it a shot if you're one of those Makoto users. And sorry if I'm labeling you as a, quote, one of those, unquote, players, because that's a term that I use a lot. What else is there? Top tiers. Chun Li, that fireball super is a piece of shit. The anti-air super is a piece of shit. Yeah, she only has one good super with the second one. Does so much damage. Hit confirms are insane off that. Like, the range you have in it's really amazing. Goes through fireballs. Good thing it has no invincibility except that it goes through fireballs. One character that has a really good arsenal of supers is Hugo. Again, Hugo has that Gigas Breaker super. It's just a beefed up version of the 360. Megaton Press, I think it's not really a good super. It's just a beefed up version of his air grab. But that Hammer Frenzy gives Hugo something that he just simply didn't have before. It gives him like a beatdown super that you can combo into. It gives him an overhead game all of a sudden where you can do a universe overhead into a super. And that's just amazing. He didn't have that before. It's another fear factor that you're adding to Hugo's game just for having that kind of super. So for the Hugo users out there that are only using the Gigas Breaker, even if you're really good, you could be a lot better if you just learn to use that third super. It does a lot of damage. And you get more than one of them, I think. Yeah, I think you get more than one of those supers. Let's talk about Pink Sean, because this is C-Royd. You got to talk about Pink Sean. I love that Hado Burt's super. It's really amazing. That super is what narrows the gap between Sean and a real Shoutout. I mean, he's still nowhere close to being a real Shoutout, but it gives him like that Ken danger factor, which is like the short jab short, the short short, and the low strong confirmed, the stand roundhouse confirmed, low forward canceling into the super, which you can do with the third super, but the third super, you only get one of them, so once you're done with it, you kind of have no more meter. With the Hado Burst, if you're kind of just zoning back and forth, you can build a good amount of meter, hit a guy with a super, and do another one. So, I mean, take a look at all these supers that are in Third Strike, and again, supers do make the tiers. If you didn't have Yun with Genei Jin, he wouldn't be at the top. Yang would be better than Yun if you took away Genei Jin. Yang with those EX Manta Slashes, those Manta Slashes are crazy, do so much damage, you can confirm them in so many ways. Once you get a parry, you're pretty much hitting the guy for a 6-hit combo with a lot of stun. So, for those of you that are just using one character over and over again, keep working on it if you don't think that you're that good at that character yet, but also, like, try to switch to other supers. I'm not saying if you're using Alex, don't just keep using the second super. I mean, the first super is alright, I don't think it's that good. The second super is amazing because of all the meter it gets you, all the different ways you can combo into it and confirm into it, or you can overhead into it, and Stun Gun Headbutt is just fucking hilarious. It's like an entertainment value super. Back in the day, there were quote-unquote inescapable setups with Stun Gun Headbutt. If you weren't a Kuma that could teleport out, then you're fucked. You know, it beats a lot of supers. You can't jump out of it because it grabs you out of the air. You can't shore you out of it with certain setups. But, you know, then people got smart to it, so the Stun Gun didn't become that great. But it's still fun. If you hit a guy with a Stun Gun Headbutt, I bet you feel fucking great. Right? So, please, take a look at the character that you're using. Look at all three of their supers, and see if any one of those supers gives you something that you didn't have before. Like an extra move that you simply didn't have. Like an extra unblockable fireball. An extra beatdown super for a grapple character. Or, what else is there? We're not going to talk about Akuma, because only his fireball super is good. What else is there? Is there another character that gives him something you didn't have before? Let's see. Oro is nothing but crazy-ass extra moves that he didn't have before. All of his supers, both the EX versions and the regular versions, are crazy good. So please take your characters, analyze the supers, and see if you can get a super that adds a weapon to your arsenal, and see if that actually makes the character better. Okay? I'm not talking about Remy Blue Nocturne and shit like that. So leave a comment, okay? So maybe you can get some arguments going on about which super's better, which supers suck. I don't know. But leave a comment down at the bottom there. Please like my videos, like my channel, subscribe to it. If you want to talk about it, comment in the videos here. If you can get these videos up on the front page somewhere, I'm just trying to keep this game alive before online edition comes out. So I'm going to sign off, seeing how I'm pretty much coming up or past the 15-minute mark. Alright, so take it easy, everyone. I'll see you guys maybe in a couple days with the new lesson, a video that actually teaches you something. This is just me rambling on. Alright, so this is C-Royd from Toronto, signing out. Peace out.